cell phone job here.
I told Steve, I said, Steve, all you gotta do is put him on a track to find out what he's doing, where he is, and you know where he is, you got accountability.
Yeah.
That's it, he knows.
He's about 32 hours a week. You know?
Good.
If you can't do that, then quit.
Right.
You got to choose what's your priority in the state legislature or this.
I agree.
But he's thinking of, look, if you guys, he's four, just told him I'm walking in after initial vote. He says, don't do that. He said, you got it.
He's right, he's right about that, no, he's absolutely correct about that.
He can,
He's, about, letters.
Since third grade.
she's not going to be pleased with the vote tonight.
Also, I say to him,
We're going to say something like, we were aware that some questions have been raised on this, but we think it's a valid program. Manny supported it, Adamowski obviously supports
he
it.
loves, he really
It was
loves
a high time
So it's going to be, we're appropriating the money, and it's up to Dr. Adamowski to review the program, make sure everything's working fine, that's his job.
But remember, it's not a curriculum, we just developed modules, that's all we did, and we did exactly, and also, we started thinking about money. Manny never told us it was a budget, he said, you do the work, the twins, submit it to me, I'll sign off. When he left, he directed, Rich to do it, same
Yeah.
thing, and they work for everything, you know that, they wouldn't take a nickel, they're the best.
Yeah.
They're pretty upset about it, but you know, but so we want some good news here, because I'm not gonna tell you something, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell them at the beginning of December. I submitted us a project to the American Federation teachers, they were selected, Monday afternoon, July 13th, presented in Washington DC. We're
Excellent.
gonna get Corey to really cover that well.
Good.
I mean, this thing really has nice traction.
Yeah.
It's good, it's so good. All right.
We're going to do it.
This other article that did I just hand you these? Yeah.
Yep,
I gave
I
you
got
another
it.
article. This is about Alexa Schechter at Norwalk High.
Mm-hmm.
The special thing that she did. Really good too, Mike.
Yeah.
So we'll talk to Mike and we'll get it together.
There's the man. Check.
Yep.
By the time I
Yeah.
get this pay off.
My son, we're going down on Sunday. He did your
Sorry, music.
Son. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Ralph said he's interested in lots of.
My daughter, the junior, is actually, that's one of her.
Yeah,
one of the
James
top-
loved it down there. Washington is a great city to go to school in.
If you want to.
It's like Boston.
Set it from here.
You know?
If you grab the iPad, I'll show you, because we do have to set it
Yeah.
up.
I mean, James went in Washington, Claire was in Baltimore, and Christina's going to Boston.
Oh, wow.
So we got the East Coast covered.
It's warmer in DC than Boston.
True.
Where'd you go to school? Okay. My son, we looked at BU. My younger son, I was up there in March. He's a lacrosse player, so he's just going to be a junior. But we were.
There's a relaxed looking man.
Oh, yes. I was still there. Had to actually take my.
I saw those pictures. I was like, son of a bitch. I would love to be where that man is.
Oh, yeah.
It looked absolutely fantastic.
It was amazing. It really was. All inclusive, all you can eat and
That's
drink.
great.
And it's so weird. You get up from the restaurant, not even tip, not pay for anything, not even a check.
They're just gonna use
This is great. I can do this.
It's like you landed in Utopia.
I know. It really is. So anyway, it was a nice 5 days.
And this was
27. 27 years. Yeah. Yeah.
Liz and I will be 33 this year.
No kidding. Wow. Where are you going?
Hard to say again. Yes. 2.5%, I think, is the same as the unions.
Board of Education.
These are the standard agreements we've been doing forever.
Yeah, I know.
But we don't evaluate them, the superintendent
Yeah,
would.
does he have evaluations for?
Just,
That's really my question.
I think there is, well, there's language like that is in there. Here we go.
So one thing I didn't put in there was,
Yeah, see right here, yeah. There's a provision for termination. Hello, James.
How
you doing? You? So there's a procedure for termination that would effectively.
Every year, now it's about every single year.
I know, I get evaluated every year.
I think we really need to put into practice evaluations. Just as a standard.
Well, we should do that, when we fill all these positions from now on, after this. I mean, these are all one-year contracts.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I think you're right. We should just, it's in the superintendent's contract.
And it should set the precedent.
Well, you know what it should do? It should requires an evaluation by the superintendent, because that's the direct supervisor. No, I think you're right. Going forward, after this, we
Yes,
should do that.
yes. Yeah, we can't go backwards.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay.
All right.
It's just us.
So far, Rosa, Sherelle, and Shirley will email saying they're not coming. Which means, I guess it's basically a boycott. Why? It's like there are at least 3 of the 4 minority members will not be here.
This was not easy.
Oh, yeah. Yes, very good result.
What is this? Oh.
Wow.
I had to play a game of chicken, and I had to lose the state's attorney. They originally came with September 1st. And I said, why? And it's the same thing. He's on 26 pay. That's for work he did last year. I said, if you resign today, we owe you that money. So, but it was, I said, I'm not going to take a September 1st. Mooney, I really went on Tom's ass.
Didn't push it.
Yeah, I said, Tom,
Good outcome.
Yeah?
I'll pass it out to the board.
Okay.
We don't have to say very much, but it was,
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'm figuring, listen, I don't think I'm going to say anything at all. do we?
Yeah.
Do we have
I just
to
asked him. The
move
only
to
thing
approve the
I'll say
personnel
is,
matter? Done.
only thing I'll say is on the sheet, it says no date for, is the effective resignation. I'll just say, put in, I think it's right. It's the second page. After the agenda.
There it is.
Yeah, I'm just going to say add in 6:30.
Effective 6/30. Good. Good. That's what we should do. Chief economic officer, chief financial officer, chief. We should have an evaluation clause.
Everyone, absolutely. One is satisfactory evolution.
Yeah.
Evaluation.
Note to myself to do that. Hi, Heidi.
Hi, Heidi.
Thank you.
Brian.
Yep.
Please.
On my pen, here we go.
to city, not town.
How are you?
Oh, there he is.
Does the, this corpus change what we do now?
Means we can, hey, how you doing?
Hi, Frank.
Bring for us today.
Picnic?
You know me, I always bring, oh, nice. Very nice. Oh, wow, oh, God, we're just cooking gas.
Not much longer. You do a victory lap after tonight?
Tick tock, tick tock.
Oh, okay. Show him the headline. Thanks, sir. Take a look at this headline.
Whoa,
Just get out.
whoa.
Yeah.
My God.
Things are looking up.
That's nice.
An hour, yeah, I saw
I'm
that.
glad they are.
Wow.
Looking down for the last 2 days.
I know. All right, we got our quorum, so call the meeting to order. First item of business, Pledge of Allegiance. Will you join us? Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Do we have any sign-ups for public comments?
Anybody sign up?
Oh, God.
Nobody signed up?
No sign-ups? Okay.
We're done. Anybody?
Takes care of public comments.
Thank you.
All right, we are rocking and rolling. All right, next item is approval of personnel. There's one item in the agenda, resignation of David Marchetti. I believe you had a clarification on that.
Yes, on the agenda, we didn't have an effective date, but the effective date is June 30th.
Okay. All right, Chair would entertain a motion to approve the personnel item. Mr. Kasimis moves. Is there a second? Ms. Keys seconds.
We don't have a minute taken. Secretary.
You're right, all meetings being recorded. Our recording secretary is. Well, meetings being videotaped. She's gonna have to watch the video. All right, we will now proceed to a vote. All in favor of approving the personnel item, please indicate. And that is unanimous. All right, thank you. Second item on the agenda is approval of new contractual agreements with exempt staff. There are agreements in the packet renewing the contracts for 1 year of Chief Communications Officer Brenda Wilcox-Williams and renewing the contract of Ralph Valenzizi as Chief of Technology Innovations and Partnerships. Chair would entertain a motion to approve these contracts. Mr. Barbas moves, Ms. Keys seconds. Is there discussion? Okay, I'll just point out a couple of things. Pleased to support both of these renewals of contracts. Under both Ralph and Brenda, we've seen a significant degree of progress in both our public relations operations and in IT. Before Ralph got here, we didn't have Wi-Fi in our schools. Now we do. We've made major shifts in our computer technology, and with a big move to the Chromebooks. We successfully went through the SBAC testing process. God knows what the state's going to do, but we got it done. Brenda has taken a lead in communications, both working together with Ralph, obviously, on technology, upgrading our website, significantly enhancing communications techniques that are being used to reach parents through electronic means, and generally, has done a good job of getting the news out about our school system. So I'm very happy to support both of these individuals for reappointment, and hope the board will join me. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor of approving the two contract renewals, please indicate. And that is unanimous. Congratulations, welcome back for another year. so the next item is review and approval of the 2015 to 2016 reconciled operating budget. There is a summary of the budget in the packet as it was presented to the Finance Committee 2 weeks ago. Is there a motion to approve the budget? Mr. Kasimis moves. Is there a second? Ms. Keys seconds. Is there any discussion on the budget? Mr. Barbas?
I'd like to make some modifications to this reconciled budget.
Okay.
Would you like me to, I made some printouts of what I'm suggested. I did work my idea through with Mr. Rudel. Can I pass these out?
Yes, please do.
For discussion?
Thank you.
Jeez, I can't see it.
All right, so to properly bring it for discussion, why don't you, Chair would entertain a motion to amend the main motion to adopt these changes to the budget shown in the spreadsheet. You can explain what they are.
Yeah.
Mr. Barbas moves. Is there a second? Ms. Keys, I'm sorry, Mr. Kasimis seconds. Okay, Mr. Barbas, your
So,
amendment.
The reason I'm proposing these modifications to this reconciliation, there were two, I think, very important items that were not included or had been cut in this budget. And I really feel like they need to be reintroduced or put back in. So one of these is, there's been a lot of talk about school governance councils and that they can really have a big impact. And if Manny Rivera was very much behind these. And if you look at our superintendent-elect, that's his title, or approved, Stephen Adamowski, that was one of a big part of what he did in Hartford, were school governance councils. They were very critical, really, to the implementation of his plan. So I think the cutbacks that have been budgeted in school governance councils is a big mistake. So in my book, I would like to propose that we reinstate fully funding them, and this would also include full funding for Regis Shields, who was helping design our school governance council initiative. So we do have some money from GE, but I would like to put back funds to fully restore that program. So that was one thing. The second thing I would like, and that's I think $20,000. And then the other thing I would like to do is that we had cut the Parents for Literacy initiative. This is the initiative, kind of I don't know, I call it a joint venture, but an initiative with with the NFT, the National Federation of Teachers, our teachers union, and we were trying to engage parents of kids that weren't necessarily even in the school system yet. It was really kind of pre-K, toddlers, to get them ready to come to school. There was a series of presentations at Brookside School, and the final one was done here in the concert hall. I feel like we need to continue that initiative. And maybe it gets, with our new superintendent, it gets tweaked and readjusted, but I feel like, once this budget's in effect, there's not gonna be any money for it unless we make this adjustment. So I'd like to make this adjustment and reintroduce the $75,000 that had been there previously. So by putting this money back in, I gotta find some money. And so I have a few proposals as a way to pay for this. So the first thing I would like to propose is to no longer have an extra clerical staff at West Rocks Middle School. If you look at the numbers at our middle schools and the enrollment and the support staff there, so our single biggest middle school is Ponus at 701 students, and then it's closely followed by Nathan Hale at 678, West Rocks at 674, and Rhoton is much smaller at 470. If you look at the clerical support there, Ponus, our biggest school, only has 2. Nathan Hale, our second biggest school, only has 1. And West Rocks has 3. and Rhoton only has one. So I think it's only fair that West Rocks be at least at the level of Ponus, our single biggest school. And so I feel like we should defund a position there, and that would free up something on the order, I believe, of about $30,000. Then a second position I feel that is unnecessary is right now, each one of our curriculum directors has a personal secretary. I think in this day and age, if you look on the corporate side, for those of us who came from the corporate side, people don't have that level of support staff anymore unless you're like a senior EVP or something. So I'm proposing that we are long curriculum secretaries, and we could defund the position there going forwards. So those are the two ways, and I think in talking to Rich Rudel, those two positions would basically fund the additions that I have proposed. So that is, those are my budget amendments as I see them.
Okay. And this also includes an additional $23,000 for textbooks?
Yes, I think in the end, we do, because of the new curriculums in middle school, we do need a little extra money, and I think when you take in benefits and everything from those two positions, it's a little more money than the school governance and the literacy parent engagement program, and so that small incremental amount can go to textbooks, is what Rich proposed, was an area that needed it.
Okay.
Mike, on the governance council, we had put in, I think, 25 in the budget and then 25 out of Title I. Are you suggesting to go to 50 and take nothing out of Title I?
I think that was, Rich, is that how we worked it out?
The 20 for school governance is already,
Pardon me?
There was 20,
for school governance is already in there.
right. and
Right, what's being.
Yeah, we'd come to 50 altogether.
Yeah, this is, we're also restoring, I think, here the standards initiative aspect of that work.
So I think it was, there was some GE grant money as part of that endeavor as well, but this.
But that doesn't show in our budget.
Exactly.
Right,
That would be
that's off
supplemental.
budget.
That would be supplemental to that.
Okay. All right, it's been moved and seconded to amend the budget as indicated by Mr. Barbas. Is there any other discussion on the budget? I will note that obviously the Literacy for Parents program has gotten a lot of support. It's also generated some controversy, and but I can relate that both Manny Rivera and Steve Adamowski have urged us to support the program. I think that I would personally like to see the program coordinated with the K-5 literacy. We have had some start at that. I know some of our people were at the last meeting from the literacy program, and I understand that this is different than what we're doing in the schools. But I think that I would certainly urge Dr. Adamowski when he arrives to try to mesh the programs as nicely as they can be meshed, to the extent that there should be some interaction there with Maureen Ruby as the K-5 literacy director, so we get the most possible benefit out of this program going forward. Artie?
Go ahead.
Oh, Heidi, then Artie.
I was pointing at her.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Heidi.
I'm going to piggyback on what Mr. Lyons said, as well as Mr. Barbas, but as far as the governance council, I think it's critical and just so much needed in every one of our schools to have a governance council. So
Well, that's what his budget is
right,
for.
which is critical to our success. So I think that's absolutely imperative that we get that done, which we will. And as far as the literacy for parents, for their children, I think it's a fabulous program. I think you need to have a program like this in Norwalk schools. I agree with Mr. Lyons as far as having some type of collaboration or something with Norwalk Public School staff, so it can be a conjoined effort together. But I've gone to pretty much all of the programs or the sites that you've had at Brookside, as well as Mr. Barbas and Mr. Lyons, I believe Mr. Kasimis as well. So I think many of us think it's a really fabulous program, but we'd just like to see it part of also Norwalk Public Schools, some type of effort, conjoined effort that we can work on. But again, it's a fabulous program, and I'm glad that we have it here.
Okay, any other discussion? I mean, the rest of the budget is with these minor changes, is exactly the same as the budget that we had already approved all the way back in January. These are fine-tuning amendments to it. So any discussion? All right, hearing none. Now, this is the vote on the amendment. So all in favor of approving the amendments to the budget proposed by Mr. Barbas, please indicate. That is unanimous. And now we are back to the main motion, which is the adoption of the overall budget as amended. Is there any further discussion on the budget? Okay, I'll note for the record that, once again, we've come in with I think, an excellent budget, a testament to the good work of Mr. Rudel. I still can't believe we're losing. You know, we brought in the smallest budget increase in years through excellent financial management and through good negotiations of our union contracts. So there was a lot of cooperation and great leadership on that by Mr. Barbas. And I think that particularly with the 3-year budgeting that we're now doing, we're in a good position to continue to bring in budgets that allow us to achieve our objectives without crushing the taxpayers, which is what fiscal responsibility is all about. So I'm very happy to support this budget as amended and take care of the year. I also will note, just for the record, that it appears that we are once again going to finish this year with a surplus. That'll make 3 years in a row that we've generated a surplus. The numbers won't be finalized until August, right, Rich? We will have a proposal for the city for use of that surplus. Rich, in particular, has some ideas about taking care of some long deferred physical improvements to our plant, to the buildings, deferred maintenance that's been put off too long, and we may finally be able to address with some of the surplus. So, I'm very happy to support this and ready to move forward. Anything else? All right, hearing none, we'll proceed to a vote. All in favor of approving the amended budget, please indicate. That is unanimous. The item left is adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn? Mr. Kasimis? All in favor? Meeting is adjourned. 22 minutes. That's right.
Actually, we started at 7:06, I think. Even less.
All right.
All right. We're average.
That's a record, right?
Yeah.
Do you see them? You both sold. Or we both did. So, do we have them in here?
Yeah, I have them.